It's time once again for another exciting episode of Legacy Made Clear, hosted by your friend and mine, Aaron Stringer with Red Cliff Legal. Aaron, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing much better now that I've got all my red things squared away. There's too many red rock stuff around here. Red rocks, red
It
cliff,
is.
red this,
Yep.
red that. I'm glad to have you back again today. I know one of the things we wanted to talk about is what really happens if you die without an estate plan. Can you fill us in on some of the things we need to be aware of?
I can. For the most part, the reason why it's so important to put something together, some kind of plan, is because of that big bad word that we hear, probate. So, probate is something that has a bad reputation, a lot of that deservedly so, because it's a process. It's a court process, which means that it both takes a long time in most cases and also costs a lot because you're going to be including attorney's fees, other fees, and just time to manage all that property and everything that's involved. So that's number one, just probate.
Yeah, because I've heard that word many times and never in a good connotation.
Exactly.
It's always something to definitely avoid. So that's one of the great things about it is that it helps you avoid that horrible situation.
Right.
Walk us through, I think it's called intestacy laws. What are
Yeah.
those?
Yeah. So intestacy laws are what would apply when there is no estate plan set up beforehand. So intestacy laws include who is going to be in charge of your estate if you don't plan for that, if you don't name someone through a will or a trust. It's going to include who gets your property. So there's a priority list of, it's going to be children and then parents and then siblings. So kind of, look at the family tree and it spreads out from there, which is not always what we want to have happen. Actually, often it's not what we want to have happen. So if you don't have anything set up, then it will go according to those intestacy laws. And it's basically the state laws that decide for you and your family what happens instead of you having a say in that.
So is that part of the whole probate process?
It is. Yep. So if there's no other plan for the judge court to go off of, then they have to look at the state laws, and so that's what they're going to go off of. No matter if you have a, uh, you know, uh, family who think, oh, they wanted this or they wanted that,
Mhm.
that's just not going to go far in the court.
So, I know this can be really difficult when families who don't have anything in place, like an estate plan or a trust or anything like that. And it goes into probate, and the judge just has to go through the intestacy laws of the state. Can can those be appealed at all? And let's say that cousin George shows up and says, "But Your Honor, I realize that Larry did not have an estate plan, but really." Aunt Martha promised these things to me. In fact, I have her handwritten note just before she died.
Mm,
Can it,
handwritten notes. Yeah.
has that ever come into play before? No, never, right?
Right. Now, handwritten notes are a big part of. Actually, you'll see a lot of celebrity type cases that cover that, where they'll have actually a very well put together estate plan, but then later on they have some kind of handwritten note, and so they do exactly. Family members do exactly what you're talking about. They'll bring that into court and say, "Hey, I've got this here," and uh, and then the years long process starts
Oh
to
my
figure out
gosh.
what's going to happen. So.
So, as if probate isn't long enough, several months at least, then you throw something like that into the works. Now you're into the years before this thing is resolved.
Exactly. Yep.
So, I would imagine that somebody has a small estate, 50, 60, less than $100,000. You don't want to keep the thing locked up for 10 years versus maybe if it was $20 million, it might be worth it. But oh my gosh.
Right. Yeah, but either way, I mean, a well put together estate plan can resolve both of those issues, no matter what the estate looks like,
Yeah.
because you can see people, even with those lower value estates, it can come down to a coffee table,
Yeah.
that prized family heirloom that everybody wants. So it's not necessarily about the value in every case. It's about just the family button heads. They both want something, and can cause issues if there's not a clear direction about who's supposed to get what.
Yeah, and in addition to the time lag, I think one of the worst situations is that it can totally destroy family
Yeah,
relationships. You know, Aunt Martha said I could have it. No, she didn't. Yes, she did. No, she didn't. I mean, next thing
exactly.
you know, your relationship with your brother or your mom or dad or whatever is just done. And
Right.
personally, I just don't think it's worth it. You know.
I don't either. I mean, it's already a hard enough time. You've lost someone you love. Everyone has. And then to start going at each other regarding property that's left behind, that's just making it that much worse. And people can really leave with grudges that last years and years.
Okay. So, Aaron, if I need to get started on my estate plan, can I call you for a free consultation?
That is a great first step for you to take. Yeah. So you can give me a call at 435-817-9187. You can also check out my website, redclifflegal.com, and my email address, if you want to just shoot me an email, astringer@redclifflegal.com.
Perfect. We'll see you guys again next time with another exciting legal adventure with Aaron. Oh, I believe our next episode we have coming up is called the biggest estate planning mistakes that people make and how to avoid them. So be
That's
sure and
right.
catch that one. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Aaron, we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks.